making his way to the cage, Ozzy Diaz.
You want mine?
At a combined height of 12 feet and 7 inches comes this light heavyweight bout. 3 2-minute rounds at 205 pounds. First up, 6'4" Ozzy Diaz, a 2-time University of Mixed Martial Arts veteran, making his 3rd appearance here at the cage down at Club Nokia at LA Live. Out of NCT Pankration with 1 win and 1 loss. Ozzy Diaz, again, the 23-year-old from Los Angeles, California, with 1 win and 1 loss. Really talented fighter. Didn't get to see his best stuff, again, his last fight against Jens Grau, but that first fight against Philip Forteza really showcased his wide array of skills.
Yeah, you know, just because he has 2 actual MMA fights on his record, he has a lot of experience with grappling, and that really lends well to getting into the cage. He loves to throw his right hand, so we know he has good hands. He's really mobile, and for somebody his size, that's great. He likes to change his levels, and he'll really fight hard through a fight.
Lots of lateral movement from Ozzy Diaz. You mentioned that grappling experience. A lot of North American Grappling Association stuff. Did Naga in Las Vegas. First place in the no-gi novice division. First place at Grappling X novice division. So the guy definitely has a strong grappling pedigree, especially when it comes to that no-gi experience.
Yeah, and those are really great experience builders. Grappling X and Naga always have great show of competitors. So if you can come away with a win, you know that those guys have come through a lot of good no-gi guys. And you can't have too much no-gi experience in an MMA fight. That is what you need on the ground.
And that's going to be very important against the aggressive offensive jiu-jitsu of his opponent, Joshua Neal. Josh Neal, really great on the ground, throws up a lot of submission attacks, continuously trying to transition from submission to submission. Ozzy Diaz, you got to think that his keys for this fight: be first, watch those counter punches. That's what got him in trouble against Jens Grau, as he let Jens set the pace early on. And also use that defensive jiu-jitsu skills against that attack of Josh Neal.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to, well, you know, Ozzy has 4 inches on Josh, which doesn't sound like a lot, but can come in pretty handy.
His opponent, Joshua Slim Neal.
And in the red corner, his opponent, 26-year-old Joshua Neal, fighting from the Hive under Sensei Tom Bowman's Killer Bees. Now, he has a record of 0 wins and 3 losses, but those 3 losses do not tell the story of the fighter that is Joshua Neal.
No, they don't. Josh always puts up a great fight. He likes to use his long limbs to stay away from his fighters. He's always going for submissions. He's really aggressive, and he likes to put pressure on his opponents. And you're right, his record does not tell the story of what he can do. I do think that the fact that he uses his long limbs isn't going to be able to benefit him in this fight like it has in the past, because his opponent's actually taller than him. So that reach isn't there for him.
Not the same reach advantage, but you have to think that there's possibly a speed advantage. That's where Josh Neal sees that he's going to take this fight, is in being faster than Ozzy Diaz. You know, Josh, as we said before, very long-limbed. He likes to move forward, put that pressure on his opponents. And again, as we mentioned during we were talking about Bruno Casillas, about Ozzy Diaz, it's that very impressive offensive jiu-jitsu game. When Josh had his last fight here, the loss against Bruno, he put Bruno into really tight spots, nearly finished him twice with submissions before that finish where he was stopped in round 2.
That can definitely stop an opponent. Constantly going for submissions puts your opponent in the place that all they have to do is defend. If you're so busy defending different submissions, you don't ever get the chance to try and set one up yourself, and it puts you down a point for that match. And in these really short matches, that can make all the difference.
You know, the difference for Josh in the past, he says, has been he's too much of a nice guy. He had that nice guy problem, couldn't make business happen in the cage. He says he's changed that now. He knows it's just business, and he's going to put it on his opponent. Now let's get our official start from Salvador Arellano.
Our next fight this evening is brought to you by Downtown Vape. Check out their table here on the Club Nokia main floor. Scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the 205-pound division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Pankration practitioner. He steps into the cage with a record of 1 win and 1 loss. His 1 win coming by way of knockout. He stands at 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighing at 202 pounds. Representing NZT Pankration from downtown Los Angeles, Ozzy Diaz. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, a Kenpo practitioner. He comes to the fight with a record of no wins and 3 losses. He stands at 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighing officially at 200.8 pounds. Fighting with Bowman's Dojo from Canoga Park, California, Joshua Slim Neal. Man in charge of the action, Larry Landless.
Here we go, 6 minutes of action in the light heavyweight division. 6'4" Ozzy Diaz in the green trunks with the blue hand wraps. 6'3" Joshua Neal, black trunks and the red wraps. It starts here. And quick sidekick from Josh Neal. He mentioned that technique earlier in the pre-fight interviews. He recently had a kickboxing smoker where he broke a guy's ribs with 2 of those sidekicks.
That's an impressive kick, and I think he might have gotten over his nice guy problem.
Yeah, certainly looks like it already. Josh now really trying to turn inside, almost going for that Mackenzie-style guillotine, really trying to turn it on.
You know, I like that he went to the ground to try that guillotine. I'd like to see him try and get mount here, because you can't really finish, well, you can finish a guillotine, but it's always better to have control of your opponent's body.
He finally lets go of that choke, was fighting for it for a minute, and here's a similar position that we saw in his fight against Bruno, but he gives it up. Back to the feet is Diaz.
That was a good recovery from the scramble. Ozzy has a great look on his face. He almost looks bored.
Josh Neal, you mean? Yes.
Oh, Josh, excuse me, yes.
Looking a little not entirely excited by the moment. And maybe that moment let him get taken down.
Yeah, but he is trying to hold on to that guillotine position. Now, he has a good opportunity to work here. He has those long legs, and if he wanted to, he could work some high guard and really take advantage of those long limbs on the ground.
Ozzy Diaz looking to create some space, throw down some punches against Josh Neal. But as you just mentioned, Josh throwing those legs up, looking for possible attacks from the bottom.
Yeah, and he has that opportunity. It looks like he might be trying to swing around and maybe grab an armbar or get a different position. You hear somebody yell sweep, I think that would be a really good idea for him right there.
Josh Neal back to his feet. Ozzy still pressing, looking for that single leg. Might not have time to finish it, and there we go. That's the end of round number 1.
That was a lot of fun action. Ozzy really seemed to like that double leg position. You know, to finish it though.
Ozzy was going for that takedown. He did land one, but even in that takedown, not a lot of damage done on the ground. And especially with these half-point scoring, where the takedown on its own isn't the end-all, be-all in this system they use here in California. You got to think a pretty solid edge in that round to Josh Neal.
Yeah, I have to give it to Josh. And something these guys need to really keep in mind, which I'm sure they do, is you only have 3 minutes. So standing up against a cage is something only guys in 5-minute rounds have the luxury of doing. If you are up against the cage, you need to start working. You only have those 3 minutes to win the round.
Well, you mentioned before, Josh seems to have gotten over that nice guy mentality. Let's see if that sidekick comes back again here in round number 2. On the side of Ozzy Diaz, you gotta wonder if he can really turn up that wrestling game and get Josh to the mat a little bit more quickly.
He either needs to do that or he needs to turn up his striking.
Well, here we go, round number 2 of this light heavyweight contest between Josh Neal in the black trunks and Ozzy Diaz in the green. Ozzy takes the center of the cage. Josh, a couple of quick punches, led with that push kick, and now a great throw, but a wonderful reversal of position by Ozzy Diaz.
Yeah, and Ozzy looks like he might have been going for that guillotine again, but Ozzy doing a really good job of controlling him from the side. It looks like he's trying to mount, or at least get knee on belly and control him. There he goes with the mount.
Ozzy Diaz gets the mount. Josh tries to roll out. Ozzy now flattening out Josh Neal, putting in the choke. That choke is deep, and there goes the tap. Your winner by round 2 rear naked choke is Ozzy Diaz.
That was definitely textbook rear naked choke for MMA. You want to flatten your opponent out. You don't want to give him that space. So Ozzy did a great, Josh did a great, Ozzy did a great job of flattening Josh out and getting the tap from that position.
Yeah, mounted pretty quickly there in that second round was Josh Neal. He did a good job trying to escape that mount. As soon as he turned over, though, Ozzy was right on him with that flattening. And
that's where you want to be. You don't want to give your opponent the ability to stand up and shake you off or defend that rear naked choke. If I'm on top of you and we have the clumsy gloves with us that kind of make submissions really awkward, flatten him out. Don't give him that space. That is how you're going to finish the sub.
Well, tough night for Josh Neal. He looked fantastic in that first round. Was really commanding it, and even looked great in round 2. Landed a nice combination early on with the push kick and the left-right.
He did. He looked great. Josh always looks great. I don't think we've ever seen him give a bad performance in the cage. It just doesn't look like it's gone his way for him yet.
And it doesn't also look like it's significant technique issues. It looks like it's those little momentary lapses that are really causing the difference between win and loss for Josh Neal.
Right. When you leave a window open and somebody can capitalize on it, that's all they need. It doesn't have to be a big mistake or a bad performance. Little windows are what win fights.
Now on the other side, got to give it up to Ozzy Diaz, really fighting back in that first round, avoiding damage further from those first couple of moments and controlling the action for a second, and then putting Josh Neal down, getting the choke.
I think he used his wrestling, which looked like exactly what he was trying to do.
For our official call, let's go to Salvador Arellano.
The third man in the ring, Larry Landless, brings the fight to a halt 36 seconds into the second round. Your winner by way of tap out due to a rear naked choke out of the blue corner, Ozzy Diaz.
Don't go so far. Congratulations, Ozzy. Fantastic rear naked choke. How you feeling right now?
I feel amazing, man. The last fight, I felt like I didn't perform as much as I can. There was a lot of things on my mind, but it feels good to bounce back.
You look great, even in your loss. You look great. You looked even better today. What's next for you? Who do you want to fight, or what do you want to do next?
It really doesn't matter. I mean, I know it's still amateur, but just put somebody. I'll be there. It doesn't matter if it's today or tomorrow. I'll be there to fight.
Is the goal to turn pro for you?
One day, yeah. Take it fight by fight.
Nice. Do you want to thank anybody? Anybody help you train, help you get this big win today?
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to thank God. That's my man up there. My parents, which I love so much. My coaches, Chenzo, Frank. My manager, Jairo, Pocholo, Danny, Chapin, both Dannys. California New Business Bureau. I love you guys, baby. Everybody, my brother. Man, I love him too.
Great, congratulations, Ozzy Diaz, winner by rear naked choke. One more thing?
Yeah. Happy late birthday, Helen.
Happy birthday, Helen.
Your winner in round number 2, improving to 2 wins and 1 loss, Ozzy Diaz.